Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mothers have practically built themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv, and I'm here with Dave and Michelle Knopfsinger, and we are headed up to Ogden. We are going to be part of this Spike 150 thing that's going on. We're going to look at the museum, we're going to look at the trains that are up there, so stick with us, and well, let's see what the Spike 150 thing's all about.
So as usual, I wanted to do something to commemorate the event, so I upgraded the paint schemes on my Jupiter and my 119. The big thing I needed to do was change the boiler jacket and get something that looked a little bit more like actual Russia iron. So I mixed up a anthracite gray metallic with a little bit of insignia blue and came up with this color that I really like. And I painted this on both my Jupiter and my 119. And here is the 119 sitting on the layout with the big boy sitting there in the background. Part of this whole almost week-long event was the chasing of the big boy and 844 down from Cheyenne to Ogden for the what I call the opening ceremonies, where they went pilot to pilot, 844 and 4014. And here is my Jupiter with its new coat of Russia iron sitting in front of 4449, which is who I felt should have actually been pilot to pilot because, well, it's a Southern Pacific engine, and Southern Pacific bought out Central Pacific. So in my little model world, well, here you go. The 4449 and the big boy and the Jupiter and the 119 representing their respective railroads here on my shelf layout. So what I think it should look like at the opening ceremonies. Anyway, so we got in the car and we headed up to Ogden. It was an absolutely beautiful day for that. And you can see this is a traffic semaphore box that had actually been painted with the Spike 150 logo. Great job. Ogden, wow, they went all out. It was, streets were closed off in some areas so they could have all of these vendors, and you can see looking right up Wall Avenue, from Wall Avenue there, all of the street vendors that they had selling a whole bunch of different knickknacks to commemorate this Spike 150. Some great food vendors. This event opened up at like 8 in the morning and went, well, 10 o'clock at night, right across from Union Station. And this is where the main event was, here at the Union Station. And really the star of the whole show up here in Ogden was the big boy, the newly restored big boy locomotive. We were up here by 10 a.m. on Saturday, and there was already quite a respectable crowd that was gathering. And you can see here around the big boy, just masses of humanity, which I think is absolutely awesome. How neat is this? We now have a big boy up and running. And here's Dave and I, my brother Dave. We're getting a lot of adventures together, but here we are in front of the big boy. Absolutely love the look of this locomotive. But the 844 was right behind her, and the 844, the living legend. Can't wait to see this thing run by itself. Up there at the museum is the sister to the 844, well, the 833. This is one of the few of the FEF-3s that are left, and we have one right there at the museum. Also at the Eccles Museum is a tunnel motor, Nesty 40T-2. Wow, absolutely love tunnel motors. I'm addicted to them. And I had to walk around and get some detail shots. Here's the bell, which is not up on top on the DNRG, although some of the Southern Pacifics had them on top, but the DNRGs had them down below. Some details of the fuel tank and the sight glass for the fuel tank. And I need these as I model the tunnel motors that I have. And I wanted to make sure that I got the rear of this so that, of course, I can get everything right. Well, anyway, we did a little walking around outside, but well, we went inside as well. And inside, well, we found another big boy. Although this is in O gauge. This is one of the displays they have in the museum. Their museum is fabulous, but I'll tell you what, the model trains in the museum really make it for me. Here is a model of Ogden Station. And you can see the platform here in the foreground and the far south end of the station. And here you've got some more of the, well, what would have been back in the day, all of these main lines that were right there outside of the station. Here is Corinne, Utah, back in 1870. Love this diorama here, particularly the stagecoach, the hearse. They did a great job on that. And, well, who can resist having a bunch of hobos out around a fire out in the country? This little diorama is right by the Devil's Gate Bridge. And you've seen this in one of my other videos. Very well done rendition of what the Devil's Gate Bridge looks like today up in Ogden Canyon, or Weber Canyon, on the way up to Echo. Again, love this museum. I highly recommend if you ever get a chance to go in and go through. So they had some of the train cars open, and one of the things we wanted to look at was this medical car that has been totally restored. This was used to haul, in World War II, some of the wounded that would come here, usually up to the, it's a little hospital that's up in Brigham City. I can't remember the name of it now, but anyway, got some good pictures inside of some of the cars that were open, and really enjoyed that opportunity.
Stick around, see what else we've got today.
Got back in the car, and our next stop was Promontory Summit. We were going up there to take a look at the trains and maybe get in on the recreation of the commemoration of the driving of the Spike. So you can see by this diorama here where you have the Central Pacific and Union Pacific trains gathered for the original Spike ceremony. I love this diorama. I'd like to do one of my own someday and kind of update that. And here are the stars of the show, the 1-to-1 scale engines. It was pretty crowded around the two engines, but I was able to sneak in and get a nice shot with each one of them. I have had some pictures with them before, but it's just kind of something you got to do. You can see the detail on the sand tower here on the 119 with Jim Bridger on it, and a great shot of the two together. I did get some video of the area. This is on the north side of the visitor center looking from west to east, and you can see the engines there. This was right after one of the reenactments of the driving of the Spike, and so the crowds had cleared out a bit. But you can see there was a lot of seating, and there's obviously been a lot of people there, a lot of porta potties. And there's a little area here that they had with food trucks so that you could have lunch, and a really nice little area there on the south side that you could visit as well. So here's one of the things I really wanted to do while I was up here on this trip. You can see, looking to the west, there's a mountain, and it's actually a whole lot closer than it seems in this photograph. But this is taken from the Union Pacific sighting, and if we go back in time to 1869, here's an Alfred Hart photograph that's been colorized, and you can see that same sighting, and you can see the same mountain. Wow, almost the same spot this is taken from. Absolutely amazing photograph. Here you go again. Yeah, see? Pretty cool to be able to do that. Now, again, let's look at the Alfred Hart photo, and on the right-hand side, you can see the little town. And here is the exact spot where the town of Promontory was. Isn't that amazing? So here's another Hart photograph, and this was a couple of days before. This is the first meeting. They were not pilot to pilot like they are here, but you could see where the telegraph pole was. And the two locomotives were the Union Pacific number 66, and in the old picture here you see it off in the distance tooting its horn, and the Central Pacific's number 62 Whirlwind. Amazing, huh? That was taken to the east. And again, looking east here, you can see the day of the event, Durant's car and the Pullman sleeper car. Pretty darn cool to be able to be on the spot and see these old pictures. Anyway, Dave and Michelle were very nice, and they picked up this little pin for me in medicine ball, as well as this big boy commemoration pin. So, hey, thanks for watching.